how to create a simple text logo, merging our logo and shapes together. So let's start with this. We're going to head over to this text and we're going to change the text to a simple text. Let's use a simple letter or word. We're going to be changing this text over here. So let's go with this G. You can use any text of your choice. We're going to be going with G over there. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to be increasing the size over here. We have to increase the size. Okay, nice. I want to make sure it's positioned in the middle. I want to put it at the center. And next want to do is want to change the font over here. So head over to font. I want to change the font. So we have options to use from different fonts that pixellab has to offer. So I can just choose any font. So I'm just going to use this Blogger Sans over here. So just click OK. So we have the font over here. So what I want to do also, I want to also reduce my size in a bit. Okay, so we have this over here. So I'm going to put it at 170. We have this over here. So next one to do, let's move it a little bit forward. Okay, now I want to head over to our shape. So I'm going to tap our canvas. I want to hit shapes over here. So we have this nice looking shape over here. What I want to do, I want to increase the radius of this nice looking shape. Let's increase the radius. Right, so we want to also compress this a little bit. So we'll just, okay, we have a good shape over here, 26. Nice. So want to do also want to reduce the sizing. Okay, so we need some stuff like this. We want to pretty much make sure they are tiny and small. Okay, we have this one over here, so we're going to position this. Let's move it fastly above over here. Okay, we have this. What do they want to copy this, right? So we have this over here also. I want to edit that. I want to make it a little bit smaller. Okay, also position. Okay, we have this here now. Nice and cool over there, right? So we also want to do is also try to copy this. Right, so we're going to position this also. Let's move it a bit. Let's make a nice shape down here with it. So I'm going to reduce the shape a little bit. Okay, so let's position this over here. So let's also adjust the G position a little bit. Right, so we have this nice looking shape over there. What I want to do next, I want to save this. Right, so about that. Okay, we have this over here. Want to do next, want to add some text, so we can just go ahead and add some text. We want to also change the font for this also. So we're gonna go ahead with our blogger sign, so I can decide to use the lighter version. Let's go ahead with the bold. Okay, what I want to do next with this, we want to reduce the size a little bit. Okay, and let's make sure it is positioned appropriately. Okay, we have this over here, or we can just go ahead and edit this. Also reduce the sizing a little bit. Okay, 20 is okay. What I want to do next now, I want to try saving this as a project first, so we can always come back to revisit this. So we're just going to save it there, and next what we can do now, we can merge some of this stuff together. So let's go ahead and merge this to the G. Okay, now we can ensure they are positioned at the center, so let's make sure we position them at the middle center, right? So we're going to put it at the center over there, and this also, let's make sure we position this also at the center. Okay, here we have it rightly positioned at the center. So the next one we also do over here, we want to change our canvas, so we're going to head over here and change our canvas size. Okay, now it has come out even more better. Let's position this over here. So okay, so we have that here sorted out with. So might as well try positioning this over here. Okay, the next one to do quickly is I'm try merging all this together. Okay, now we can position this in the middle. So we're done with our shape merging, so we can just play around with the background. So let's go ahead and add our background and just tie the text. Then we are actually just done with this. So what I want to do, I want to pick this over here. So you can start to go ahead with that and use that as a background. We try to go ahead and use this, right? So what I want to also be doing here, I want to bring in another image, so I'm going to choose an image from gallery. Let's hit from gallery over here. Let's bring another extra image. So we have this over here. Do let's make sure we increase the width and the height to 100, right? So let's position this properly, right? And let's make sure we bring this forward, right? Okay, so we have this nice and okay over here. So we also have an option to merge this if we want to. But before we do that, you might also want to save this particular state as a project before you take this particular next step. You might want to save this as a project first. Okay, now we can go ahead and merge this. Right, and right now we have the option to also erase some color out of this, right? So right now we are having that over there. So we have this nice and good effect over here, but you can also go ahead and choose any effect of your choice. So also have option to change this and make this 3D shape, but you want to make sure the depth is not too much, right? And make sure you also darken this, right? If you want to, you can just go ahead and darken that. I'm going to leave that as it is there. So I'm going to go over to my shadows and try and play around with that. So I'm going to reduce my blur just to 0. Also, let me increase my offset. Okay, we can just leave that at that. And if you want to, you can also try and emboss this if you want to. So reduce the bevel, put the bevel at 4, increase the specular hardness if you want to. So if you observe carefully, it's affecting my text, which is by zaleDesigns, right? That's why I made them very small. That is the effect it has on it. So we have the intensity. So you can see we have over an option here to adjust the lighting. Right, we can play around the lighting and adjust it. But if you don't want any of these, you can as well go ahead and off this, right? Or you on it. Just depend on what you want to do, right? So lastly, we're going to go ahead and edit the background. So let's reduce the brightness if you want to, and you can also kind of increase or reduce the brightness as you want, and play around with the contrast if you want to. So that is it for this video, but you also have different options to go ahead and reduce or increase as you want to do it. Just try not to spoil the design. So the next one I'm going to be going ahead to do now, we're going to be going ahead to saving this. So I'm going to hit save. I'm going to be saving this as an image. So we're going to make sure our quality is an ultra. I'm going to hit save to gallery. So that is it. We just used our shape and text to create a simple logo.